It was a Monday like any other. I was busy with schoolwork and Morgan was watching the kids. When I heard Morgan call my name from the other room like it was a question, "Aaron?" And I rushed to see her lifting up Austin's shirt and showing me the bruise. I asked, "How did this happen?" She said, "I changed his diaper before his nap and this was not there. That was just a mere 2 hours ago. Spontaneous bruising?" Austin did not appear to be in any pain, and the bruise was not even that tender to the touch. Fearing some kind of internal bleeding, I rushed Austin to a nearby Instacare, where after an examination by the local doctor, I asked, what in the world could this be? With a stink eye in my direction, he said, "This looks like abuse." I informed him we do not touch our children that way. I immediately made the hour drive to see our normal pediatrician, Dr. Swenson, who after examination immediately said, "No, this does not look like abuse, but I do want to get a blood test done tonight." He must have had some idea that this was more serious than just a normal bruise. He asked me to stick around by the lab to wait for the results to come in. I should have had some idea that something was wrong when I saw in bold letters on the prescription, "Run stat." An old friend just happened to be the phlebotomist that drew Austin's blood. Matthew has been drawing Austin's blood since he was born, and is still the only phlebotomist to draw blood on the first prick. Austin's CAH condition leaves him dehydrated a lot, and consequently his veins are very difficult to find. After the trauma of getting poked quickly passed, we waited while Dr. Swenson retrieved the results that his blood test offered. Sitting just outside the lab waiting room, Dr. Swenson's first words were, "It's not good news." After discussing the blood count numbers with me, which at the time did not mean anything to me, he put it in layman terms when he said, "I'm 95% sure Austin has leukemia." As I looked at Austin with his usually energy jumping around me, wanting to push the button on the drinking fountain, I just started to cry. They said it was too late to do anything tonight, and since his life was not in immediate danger, they would admit him first thing tomorrow morning. I got into the car for the hour drive home, and I never remember crying like this in my entire life. Austin kept repeating, "Daddy, stop crying. Daddy, stop crying." Suddenly I knew how he felt on so many occasions when I offered the same command. So many questions raced through my mind. Above all, how do I tell Austin's mother? I didn't want to tell her over the phone. It just didn't seem right. But after her third call, I couldn't ignore it any longer. I answered and she said, "I assume everything's all right, otherwise you would have called me by now." I started with, "The doctor said he has some low blood counts and they want to run a few more tests, and he's going to be admitted to the hospital tomorrow." The next words were the hardest thing I ever had to say to my sweetheart, knowing beforehand what kind of sorrow it would cause her. Dr. Swenson thinks he might have leukemia. Through the muffling of her quivering lip, I could make out, "Are you serious?" I then tried to relay the same kind of confidence that Dr. Swenson had about the situation, how he assured me that everything would be all right, and for now there was no reason to worry until we knew what was really going on. We both knew my assurance was an empty one, and that there was plenty to be worried about. Trying not to let on that anything was wrong, we went about our evening with a sad cloud above our heads labeled, "This could possibly be our last night together as a normal family." Morgan made a family favorite, chicken broccoli pasta, after which we had a family home evening. A formal gathering, our little family, we sang a children's hymn, had a lesson about Jesus, played the sharing game, and said prayers. The kids laughed, sang all the wrong words, and teased each other as usual. Later that night, Austin's arm would offer up some clues to the true nature of what was going on. A single prick to draw blood left the kind of bruise that one would receive after being decked with a baseball bat. That bruise came from one single needle prick. The kids got a bath and a story, and mom and dad, they got no sleep.